welcome everyone.
Okay. I'd like to introduce David Gelder. David's a member of the Linux user group, and David's going to discuss an application that I think some of you may be interested in called Rapid SMS.
Yeah, Linux run on phones too.
Thank you, Simon and Kyle. Unfortunately, you guys got to show games, and now I'm going to work on serious uses of Linux. No, I'm not going to take long. I'm just going to briefly tie together kind of what they're talking about, Linux and the power of Linux and open source software, and then bring it to kind of where we are today, which is the Orange Expo and communication technology, specifically SMS. I was involved in a project with the Ministry of Health where we are using Linux and open source software to collect health data from government health centers using SMS, mobile phone text messaging. Okay, so just to explain briefly how it works.
I'm gonna go get some water. Is this one?
So every health center in Uganda, every government health center in Uganda, each week they need to report how many cases of malaria, how many cases of measles, were there any animal bites, and they need to send those to the district and then to the Ministry of Health. Now generally those are written on a piece of paper and then they're given to somebody who may or may not lose it, and it eventually gets to the health district and then the Ministry of Health, and it's a very slow process. Previously, to get the information from the health unit to the Ministry of Health was like a 3-month process with a lot of room for error. And so what this project was about, using networks like Orange and the networks that have such good coverage in Uganda, so that even the most remote rural health units, they have access to telephone networks and they can send SMS messages. So instead of filling out this form on their paper, they would simply send a normal SMS message. So what it would look like, for example, is this form would be filled out, and you can see here, for example, these are all the things that they would need to type in on the form. They would write it with their hand, okay? And then this would actually form the SMS message that they would have to send. So, for example, if my health unit had all these, 129 cases of malaria or whatnot, the health worker would simply type an SMS on their phone. It's not a smartphone, it's not a fancy phone, it's just a little torch or whatever they have. And they would send this to a toll-free number. It doesn't cost them any money, even if they have no airtime. They can send the message, and they'll immediately receive some sort of response saying, thank you, we've registered that you had 101 cases of malaria, 4 animal bites, etc. And same with the other parts of the form. Each of these numbers, they just type in an SMS message with all those numbers. And when it comes in, the computer running Linux kind of registers that, and it makes that information immediately available to the district, the health sub-district, the Ministry of Health, the World Health Organization, and that comes through kind of a website, so where you can log in and they can see these reports that are coming in. I can click on any reports here, and I can see that this health unit had 10 cases of malaria and whatnot. There's no data entry. It's all done automatically. Additionally, the system, one of the questions we asked from the health units is how much anti-malarial medicine they have. That's a big problem in Uganda. This ACT or Chloroquine, do these government health units have? And what this map shows, this is actually the district of Kampala, and you can see in Kampala, most of these districts, when it's yellow, green, brown, and yellow, blue, brown, and green there, that means they're full stocks of these chloroquine anti-malarials. So the Ministry of Health, the Health Sub-District, the World Health Organizations can immediately identify which health units have medicine, which they don't. And again, there's no data entry here. As soon as they hit send on their phone, it immediately comes in, is registered by the computer, and is made available, and hopefully will better the healthcare that they can provide for users. So that's the demonstration of Linux and SMS to hopefully save lives.
Definitely save lives, because at least we know where the medicine is. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a presentation from the Uganda Linux users. Thank you very much. If you have any more questions, please raise them now. For the students, I'm sure you were quite pleased to know that there is open source, free software. We have a question.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Yannick from David, and what I would like to inquire is, are you guys considering developing for us a GTalk version of Linux? GTalk version of Linux called GTalk version of Linux. It's like Google Talk.
Not that I know. You may have to ask Tyler or Simon about that. But that one I don't know.
But at least to compensate you, at least we know that there's over 100,000, I think, free.
What we do sometimes is, what Simon has done is he's put together like specific builds for specific events. So if we're going to hand out copies of Ubuntu that need encryption software or something like that, we can pre-build it on our machines and then burn a copy of that to a disk and hand it out to everybody. So if you wanted to make a GTUG Google Technology Users Group version of Ubuntu, for example, you install Ubuntu on your computer, install the applications you want to have on it, and make it like you want, and then you can use a program called RemasterSys to make an ISO copy of that and then just burn hundreds of copies and hand it out to whoever you want. So anybody can do it.
You buy the iPhone and get the app.
Okay, you see, with the current operating system, it's very easy to pick up a virus, like Windows XP, it's very easy to pick up a virus. So I'd like to know that does Linux have anything special with that?
That
Is Linux very virus prone?
Yeah. In Uganda, especially, where everyone uses USB keys and internet is sometimes scarce, so the antivirus isn't updated. That's one of the biggest problems, and that's one of the greatest values of using Linux here, is that there's almost no viruses that affect Linux. You can plug in any USB drive and it's impossible for it to get a virus. All of the viruses are designed for Windows, and Windows and Linux are different species. So just like, you know, you can't get the same disease as a cow, Linux can't get the same disease as a Windows computer because it's a totally different species. So there are no viruses there.
What he's trying to explain is that the fact that it's running on a different operating system, which most viruses are hard on, like say Windows, this one is not virus prone because whatever key that you picked up from an XP or Vista or anything, once plugged into the Linux operating system, doesn't affect it.
Now, there's a good reason for that, and because as we've been talking about, the code to this software is available for anybody to look at and make better. And so with Microsoft Windows, for example, people can make viruses because there's problems with the code, but you can't look in and see them and fix them if you know how. But everybody in the world can look at the code of Linux and say, oh, that's a potential problem right there, even before somebody's made a virus, and then make it more secure. And so the open nature of the software code is actually what really helps make Linux secure. It's because anybody can look at it and make it better.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Uganda Linux Users Association, if I may call you that. It was a great presentation, some video clips, at least I hope most of our guests and customers have enjoyed.